Yeah, Lori and Jerry, I spoke with Jeffrey Miller. He's a former Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner, as well as a former security head for the NFL. And he was the person tasked with reviewing what happened. He said since the attack, there have been a lot of changes, many of them visible, like the security fence that surrounds this section of the property, as well as the wall that surrounds other sections. He also said there are less visible ones, like AI augmented surveillance, but it's all in service of trying to shore up weak points identified in the attack.
It's something that's very alarming because of how bad it could have been.
Former State Police Commissioner Jeffrey Miller says troopers did not spot Cody Balmer around the perimeter of the governor's residence before he hopped over a fence, triggering an alert about a possible intruder. But Miller says Balmer was lucky.
He wasn't a very large person. He's dressed in all black and made use of some hiding places, and he stayed there for a period of time before he moved towards the residence.
No shatter sensors on windows also meant no alarms when Balmer broke inside the mansion and set a reception room ablaze. But because state police had locked a door that led further into the residence, as they typically do, Balmer, who was armed with a hammer police say he told them he would have attacked Shapiro with, could not penetrate further into the mansion.
He was in there for about 2 minutes, and he tried to get through another door that would have taken him to the interior of the residence and could have put people at risk.
Was this a systemic failure or a failure by the troopers that evening?
This was a systemic failure. The troopers on duty did their job.
$32 million has been spent beefing up the residence's security, including new surveillance, windows, and a wall that surrounds much of the property. Why didn't those investments happen sooner? Miller suggests they may not have been priorities after the previous governor did not live at the residence.
I think that things were antiquated. They didn't get updated. There's certain other layers that people would have liked to have seen maybe in place, but that didn't happen.
Miller says that it wasn't even discovered that an arson had taken place until several hours after the fact, as evidence was being reviewed. He says that at that point, video surveillance feeds were reviewed, and it was seen that Balmer set the fires using Molotov cocktails. In Harrisburg, Tom Lehman, WGAL News 8.